Oh, you can't hear me at all, though.
No, I can hear you still.
Okay, it's coming from my computer. Okay, what if I do this?
Oh, Ross, you're struggling.
Can you hear
There we
it?
go. I wonder if there was ever any copyrights on that song.
I've absolutely heard it in a ton of other places.
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't hear it till we started doing it, but I've heard it at other places now.
Everyone started doing cool things after we did.
I know. I know.
That's how the course of
started it
history
all,
goes.
and then we
Have you
burned
guys?
out.
Have you? No offense to the other Pacers podcast.
No, I don't
but
listen to any of it. They're
Okay.
trash. They're copycats. Come on, let's be real here. Okay, let's get into this. I want to throw all the heat. I don't care anymore. We're not a part of that society. Let's throw the heat. Start it, Ross. Kick it off.
Yeah.
Me?
Kick it off, Ross. Yeah, kick it off, Ross.
Well, how Alex used to do it. Hello and welcome to the Corner 3 show.
Yeah. All right.
Your name is
1,
Alex.
2, 3, and we're live.
I thought
Hello and welcome to the Corner 3 show. My name is Ross.
My name is Alex.
And my name is Zach.
And we appreciate you not unsubscribing to this feed because it is still live, even though doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how long
It's been a minute, folks. Kind of like the NBA season. Kind of like, the last time we've seen Victor Oladipo.
Don't do that.
Will we
Not
see
yet.
Victor?
Don't do that yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Too
Just
soon.
last weekend motivated us to finally open things back up.
Yeah.
We all found our mics, dusted them off, or purchased new ones because they were lost. And then
Or stole your brothers.
we were able to relax for like 5 days. And then today I got
It boiled over.
depressed. And I'm not normally a depressed person. I'm an optimist. And we had to talk
to a certain
about this.
point.
So
Couldn't do it.
I mean, Ross, how did you even find out about this Victor Oladipo thing in the first place?
I opened up Twitter, which I used to do like hourly.
Twitter's
Now
the
I
best.
stretched it out to like days because otherwise I get upset. and then like today, and then I'm scrolling through, and all I'm seeing is first another Alex texted he's got 1 foot out the door, and I'm like, come on, relax. What are you doing? Don't do this, Victor. And I was reading through like, what's he talking about? And I'm finding, Nate McMillan had an interview. And Nate McMillan says, I found out when you guys all found out. Like, you didn't.
Yeah, that was the moment.
He didn't talk to the coach. He went to Shams first. That's not cool. Okay. And then you read the Indy Star article where Jay Michael says, let me open that up specifically. I had it open now.
Well, the thing is,
go ahead.
He made that comment on Twitter. Jay Michael, the Pacers Indy Star reporter, made that comment on Twitter that was basically like, us basketball insiders know the real news. And listen, I don't think, and we, for those of you who didn't tune in live on YouTube to hear this, you didn't get the preamble we had, but we're not going to shy away from throwing heat here on, Corner 3 show anymore. But Jay Michael, is not someone I think that any of us have been a huge fan of since he took over the beat. But I think, that's kind of a cop-out, beat type of answer. Or like, well, I know and I can't say. It's like, stop it. If you actually knew, you would say, because that's an amazing like headline right there. And it's like a Pacers beat reporter goes in and out every single year. So like, don't give me that.
Yeah, he replied to one tweet, and his reply was like some heat, and then he goes ducks out. Like what? What are you doing? Like pretty much photobombing, just throwing a grenade and running away.
Well, the thing with like this Victor stuff. So again, where we're at right now is that Victor Oladipo is not playing for the Pacers in this restart. He is supposedly playing 5-on-5, which is interesting and doesn't really make any sense, but he's playing 5-on-5. He's going to travel with the team. And this is amid, there's always been that speculation that Miami was a place that he and the Heat shared a mutual interest in him coming down there. He's friends with Dwayne Wade. I think he's part owner in a gym. That's where he did all of his rehab. So it makes a lot of sense. There isn't really, I mean, I don't see the connection directly to Miami with what's currently going on. I see it more as, is he just growing distant or really playing his cards close to the chest for his free agency next year?
Zach, let me read the tweet and the comment, and then I want to hear your thoughts on it. So Jay Michael put something up and said, yep, ducks, after replying to Caitlin Cooper, who I do respect her on Twitter. Yeah. And she replied in the thread, she said, I have no sources, just underscoring that the chain of communication has been weird and there are plenty of dots to connect between Oladipo and Miami. She's saying things like Miami has cap space. Dwayne Wade, I assume she means the Marquette connection, where Oladipo rehabbed, Miami. He's a part owner of a gym, Miami's rumored interest, etc. And then J. Michael replied, "There's more to it beyond those things. Not a big secret inside basketball circles."
I hate that.
Which is that line. Like, okay,
that's like, oh, sorry, inside joke. It's like, stop. Like, either say what you're gonna say or don't. Like, don't put that out there. No one likes that guy.
Zach, what do you think?
I mean, it's hard to know what to think because it is a rumor, but you get on Twitter and you see everybody talking about it. Is Paul George 2.0? Is his brand too big for Indiana? You see all these comments, and it's funny. Up to like last Friday when we first started talking about him not playing in Orlando, it was more of maybe he's scared to re-injure himself. He wasn't 100% when he was playing. He's got a contract year coming up. He's 29. Maybe he's playing it safe. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then you get into this situation where you see all these things, and it's like, he's worried about max deal, his brand, all these other things. Supposedly, these are all rumors.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and honestly, in some sense, I hate saying it because Paul George took the steps to do it, and we're way ahead of the game right now on what Victor Oladipo is doing. But it almost feels like Paul George 2.0.
Well, I'll say this though to counteract that point: if the Paul George situation never happened, and this was like the first time we were, dealing with, honestly, very interesting like mirror situations in terms of. There was a weird moment that happened, for Paul. It was kind of this exodus of the core players, right? Like, Danny left before the injury, but like, right after that, Lance left. Hibbert really took the turn downhill with Victor, obviously COVID stopping the league and his like recovering rehab. So I think if that Paul George situation didn't happen, I think we'd be looking at this a lot differently. But I think I said last time, well, like a few days ago when we were texting about this, that, if I was him, is this a decision I would make? Possibly he's going to lose out like on a couple $1 million, but it's barely a dent in what he makes annually. He knows he's playing for that next contract. And, in his mind, he's, the Pacers have done some nice things since he's arrived. Obviously, trading for him was like a big sign of them believing in what he could do, but there hasn't been any like big free agency bits. I mean, other than Brogdon, or anything like really major, I guess. And I guess if I was in his shoes, I mean, I could totally see myself making that decision. And I think as fans, because we've been burned so bad with Paul George, we're like, oh no, here's another guy, completely egotistical. But I mean, I think. With Victor, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. He hasn't said anything that's been like counterintuitive to what he said, whereas Paul was like, every week he's like, I want to stay here forever, and we don't need to get into that guy. But I'm holding out hope. I'm not thrilled with how he communicated it, like not telling the team, like especially if we're gonna go down there, like tell the team first. But it sounds like the guys from all the quotes coming out of practice are okay with the situation.
I'm happy to hear your optimism. Because I do agree with you, everything you said. Last weekend's things with him not going to play, even though he was playing at the end of the season, but the injury and it hurt. It kind of sucked because you kind of feel like Pacers got an outside chance.
Yeah.
Probably won't, but outside chance. So you're kind of like, I want him to play. But I was okay. I can understand it a little bit. Next year's last year of the contract, he's the contract year. He wants to make sure he's 100% for that. Okay. It's all today's stuff where McMillan said, he didn't tell me. We're like, okay. Oh no.
Yeah, that's the major red flag.
That's really what's begun the concern, because you're like, he's now caring more about, he's going to the media instead of his team, but he is going down to be with the guys, so his teammates love him. It's just he hasn't talked to coach I don't know if Pritchard knew. I assume Pritchard knew, but still, that's the part that makes you concerned.
Well, but I think like the fact that everything else until Nate's press conference was straightforward, right? Like there was a nice statement from Pritchard right after Victor's statement. I think everything else has been pretty like to the point, straightforward. So for me, I have to, because he's done nothing but said all the right things, done all the right things as he's been here. And Paul was the opposite of that. Paul was the flip flopper.
You don't mention his name on the podcast.
Remember like the power forwards like scandal where he's like, I'm not going to play the forward. I mean, like that was a thing. Like, Victor is not that guy. So I don't know. I'm holding out hope, but I
did appreciate someone saying, they could see why Paul George would leave, especially if the comments that he brought up a couple weeks ago were true about, they could have gotten, in his view, the best power forward in the league. But look at this. So someone did tweet this. Paul George's roster before he left. Here's the roster. Lavoy Allen, Aaron Brooks, Rakeem Christmas, Monte Ellis, Al Jefferson, CJ Miles.
Wait. Let's just say something. Of the 6 players that you just named, only one of them went on to play another NBA game after
Rodney Stuckey.
No, literally, CJ Miles is the only player still active in the NBA.
Let's see, Niang, Glenn Robinson, Kevin Seraphin, Lance Stevenson.
Niang is starting now.
Stuckey, Jeff Teague, Miles Turner, Joe Young, and Thad Young.
Think about that. There's 3 active players left on that roster. 3.
Yeah, so compare that to what Oladipo has now. You got Justin Holiday, TJ McConnell, Sabonis, McDermott, TJ Warren, Aaron Holiday, Turner, Batadze, Brogdon, Jeremy Lamb, who's injured, Jakar Sampson, Edmund Sumner, TJ Leaf sucks, Victor Oladipo, Elise Johnson.
TJ Leaf sucks.
He does, man.
I know he does. He
tweeted he had a good workout today.
Oh my
God, he's trash. I'm sorry. Worst pick.
Terrible pick.
Terrible pick.
So
terrible pick.
If you look at the comparison, you can see why someone like Paul George would get frustrated. But Victor Oladipo, the Pacers are 5th in the East without him 90% of the year.
Yeah. And then the thing is, other than Jakar Sampson and TJ Leaf and maybe one other name you mentioned, all those guys are guys who have been in the NBA for a good long while, and also guys who will continue to be in the NBA. So that's the thing too, is this whole team, and Pritchard built this on purpose. He built a team that the core can stay together of Brogdon, Sabonis, Turner, Oladipo, and TJ Warren could be together for years. So he built, and again, that Paul George team too, Pritchard took over at the very end, but that was a Larry Bird team. That was the end of our run.
So here's a point for optimism, make you feel better, Pacers fans. According to the J. Michael article in IndyStar, Tony East pulled a little clip. 2 league sources told IndyStar that Oladipo wants 2 things: the most money possible, because he'll be 29 next year. This is his maybe last biggest contract. Yeah, Pacers are going to back up the Brinks truck. They're going to give him whatever he wants, because as has been mentioned 1,000 times, we don't get free agents.
Why wouldn't you?
I can't believe you said it. Indiana doesn't get free agents. And the second thing, he wants a chance to win big in the playoffs. The East, outside of Milwaukee, to me, I know Toronto, Boston, good teams, but outside Milwaukee, it's wide open. There's a lot of teams, and with that core you just mentioned, I love Brogdon, Oladipo. TJ Warden is a sneaky good player. Sabonis, Turner. Good team. So I think those 2 things that he mentioned that he wants, he can find in Indiana. And he hasn't said anything like Agent 13 used to say, where I want to stay here forever, or I want to be somewhere else. He hasn't said anything besides he went to Shams. That's the only thing. So I think we are freaking out a little bit over nothing. And he's still got a whole nother season with the Pacers next year. Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm thinking, let's all relax. Maybe, I don't know.
And the thing is too, I don't know if you guys listen to the JJ Redick podcast, but it's quickly becoming one of my favorites. And I encourage everyone to listen, because they're going to be doing pods with JJ when he's in the bubble. But they were talking about how, they mentioned Oladipo pulling out, and, the idea that, Embiid now is rumored to be considering a pulling out. And they said, JJ said he knows some things, but he won't be surprised if more players who are healthy completely pull out, just because it is kind of a crazy ramp up from nothing to 10 days of training camp to basically a game every other day. And, and there's so many factors of this bubble, which I'd love to talk about, that are just so interesting. And we're starting to see images come out now of the meals that they're getting, and everyone's freaking out. Yeah, it's LeBron is still in LA for his last night, having an amazing Taco Tuesday, and Kuzma is having like sushi, and then like you saw a picture, I think it was Troy Daniels, and it was like it looked like a meal you'd get at Disney World. It's almost like they're stuck at Disney World for the next 3 months.
Yeah, and like before we jump into that conversation, I've been thinking, what is with those 3 or 4 months that he's been out now because of COVID, post him already playing 13 games.
Yeah.
What's the difference between that 3 or 4 months giving you enough rest to play?
What I read was the injury is a year or 2 year or a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah, year and a half.
It's a long injury recovery, and their concern is the soft tissue that could re-injure. So like he could pull a hamstring, he could pull another near that muscle group injury. And when you're playing every day, it's building up. And then when you sit for 2 weeks, it's actually worse. So that's why in my mind, I'm like, okay, I can kind of understand it. But yeah, it does really hurt as a Pacer fan when at first you're like, he played 13 games. Why is he now not? But then he's traveling. So it's like he's not quitting on the team. He's just, and maybe he'll change his mind.
Well, go ahead. I was going to say, I don't think it gets any easier for them than the opportunity that they have, because everybody's coming back.
Yeah, it's almost a level.
This is not normal. Field. Yeah, so think of this next year. So as you mentioned, Alex, Embiid might not play. So you got Philly, who's going to be short man possibly. Milwaukee, Toronto, Miami, all those guys, they're coming back. But next year, you got to deal with Brooklyn, who's going to have Kyrie and KD. So it's not going to be any easier next year. This is the 1 year where it's kind of a free-for-all, in my opinion, at least on the East.
If they beat Philly that first game, maybe he changes his mind.
Well, that's the thing, though, is like he's down there, and if he's playing 5-on-5 and they make a run, and like you tell me they're in the Eastern Conference Finals and he doesn't come back, like no way, he's coming back. If they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, he's coming back.
Is there a rule or anything that says he can't come back?
I doubt it. I doubt it, because players can leave the bubble and come back. Like Gordon Hayward is supposedly going to leave the bubble when his wife gives birth and then come back. So like you can leave and come back. But I mean, if he plays 5-on-5, that's just that is like I think like that's just like knowledge that needs to be updated on like Nate McMillan's side. That doesn't make any sense, right? Like you're saying that you don't want to do said thing, but you're doing said thing. So that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I think to Zach's point completely, this is about as wide open as it gets. And also, like, I forgot who gave the quote. I think it was to The Ringer, but they asked some NBA player, like, do you think that this NBA championship, whoever wins, it should have an asterisk next to it in the record books? And they were like, absolutely. But because it's probably the hardest championship to win. And I think that part's true too, though, is because it's like you've literally been off for 3 months. And also, like, some of these players, and while I think maybe they did it on, like, it was on them, but like a lot of them haven't actually like been in a gym for a very, very, very long time, like, or shot a basketball. Sure, they've been keeping in shape, but like some of them haven't touched a basketball in a very long time. And to ramp up that quickly and to do it in the circumstances they are, where they're based, I mean, like, if you're a family man, like this is rough. Like sure, it's great they're in Disney World, but like this is 3 months by yourself, basically. So it's a tough situation. Like from a competition standpoint, like roster to roster, yeah, it's definitely a bit easier road. But I think with everything else going on, like the team with the best leader is going to have the best shot at this. And I mean, we can talk about the bubble in a second, but like, the Pacers have been without Victor for quite a while already. He came back, had like his best game right before all this crap happened. And then, we've been kind of like hoping that there was more behind that, but I don't know. I think the conversation we're having right now is rational and probably where things are actually at, rather than he's already, on the beach in Miami.
Twitter's too easy to immediate go to the worst dark place imaginable.
I mean, Pacers Twitter has been through hell, so like we get it. They have.
My text chain with our friend, he was like, if they lose another superstar, well, their star, 3 to 4 years after losing another one, do you fold the team? Like literally, it's just like, oh my gosh.
You tell Simon just to pack it up and just go.
Oh yeah, that would not look good. It's not going to happen for Pacers fans. I promise you. They're going to say to Victor, if he's even considering leaving,
ownership stake, just anything, just don't go.
What would you like? We will give it to you, literally.
Exactly.
Do you want the 10-year Patrick Mahomes deal? We can do this, and
we'll give it to you. All right.
Even though you're 29.
let's
Yeah.
pivot. And I want to ask Zach, who is your sleeper, or who is your pick to have like the best performance for the Pacers out of this bubble, and who's the player you think is going to come back and just like look the worst?
Well, I had two answers on it, but I couldn't. Is Brogdon 100% now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't
He
know if
just
he's
tweeted-
traveling with the team, but he will be down there. Yeah.
He tweeted,
But
"Thank
he's
you for your
tested
thoughts.
negative now, I think.
He's good to go." I don't know if he's there yet, but yeah.
I don't think they're there yet. I think they fly there.
My
tomorrow.
vote for the guy that's going to have the best. I mean, I was torn between him and Sabonis. My vote's for Brogdon, just because I feel like,
Nice.
with Oladipo being out again, I think more things are going to come on his shoulders as far as leading the team. He's the point guard, and he's got that mentality that it's kind of like no bull crap. It's especially when the playoffs come. He's been around the guys up in Milwaukee, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be Brogdon that's going to carry the team. Really, the guy that I think is we talking about a starter or any player on the roster.
I got a sleeper for you.
That's going to be bad. That's just going to suck it up, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that clearly has just been playing Call of Duty and postmating Taco Bell for the past 3 months.
I mean, honestly, the guy that I think
Ross. Wait. Ross doesn't know what Postmates is, does he?
he probably doesn't.
Do you know what Postmates is?
I know what it is. I've never used it.
Okay.
Yeah, we never eat
Well,
out, so.
yeah, sorry.
I think
From
the guy
Chicago,
that's
you just-
I mean, I hate to say. I mean, I don't hate to say it. I don't like.
Say it.
I think Miles
Say it.
Turner is going to suck it up.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you say TJ Leaf, I was gonna.
TJ Leaf's the cop out.
TJ
but,
Leaf's not playing.
But like Miles Turner, I've said it for years that I like the guy his personality, how he is as a person, but he's soft, like in my opinion, and I just
yeah. All right, Ross. I want to hear what you have to say.
I can't
feel like
speak negatively of
you'll-
Miles Turner. He gave me season tickets. Who will impress us the most? TJ Warren now has a green light to score and to be the focus. I want to say Brogdon, but you stole it, so I'm gonna pivot. I think TJ Warren.
But that's if Jimmy Butler doesn't go break his legs.
Oh man, I will buy whatever package to watch just the Heat games. If we get a Heat Pacers playoff series,
I don't know. Jimmy Butler might kill TJ Warren by the second quarter of game 2.
who would you take, TJ Warren or Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler.
Little bit.
Sorry.
I'm like 51% Jimmy Butler, but I still think TJ Warren's pretty tough. Anyway, so my pick on who will impress and carry the team. TJ Warren will have average 25. He will.
Yeah,
his
he's
floater
gonna get
game,
buckets.
his all that crazy stuff. TJ Warren's going to go off because it's literally him, Sabonis. That's it. Who's going to carry the scoring? Brogdon,
Yeah.
maybe. Mostly those two because we've already talked about Turner. And who will disappoint? That's an interesting question.
Thank you, Ross.
Who will disappoint? I don't know because the cop out is TJ, the other one. I don't know. I don't want to be negative, but Justin Holiday will disappoint because he's been playing really, really well, and now he's going to be asked to do a lot more because
He's one of the few guys in a contract year. I will say that.
Okay, maybe he won't. Aaron Holiday, the other one. I'll pivot there. He's going to disappoint because now it's a lot on his shoulders because he's going to get a lot more minutes. And so far, I've not been impressed. I hope I'm proved wrong. Aaron Holiday, do well, show up, please. And I think you will, but I also don't think you will.
So for mine, I actually have for who will put up a strong performance. I have Aaron Holiday and Doug McDermott.
Ooh, Doug
And I
McDermott.
say that.
Yes.
I say that because I guarantee you that if there's anyone on the Pacers team, who fought to get into a gym and to shoot, it was probably
Aaron
Doug
Holiday?
McDermott.
Well,
And
did you hear the Pacers sideline guides today?
No.
They, there was part of a big media thing, and they asked Doug McDermott, and he was in a gym in Creighton, in Omaha, Nebraska. He got a private gym, and he's been shooting
every day.
whatever. Yes.
So
what he said.
that's the thing. It's like there are literally players in the NBA who, and I think JJ Redick made a good point. JJ Redick on his podcast was like, look, I was in 2 locations during COVID-19 during the lockdown, and in both locations, I was able to get into a gym. I actually had access to like 4 different gyms in both locations. You cannot tell me that an NBA player couldn't get into a gym if he wanted to. And I think that's absolutely true. Like I could have gotten into a gym. Like we all know people who could have gotten us into a gym if we really needed to get into a gym. So those players who couldn't get into a gym and who've been just like, doing push-ups and playing Call of Duty 2K20, whatever, like that's just on them. And I think that McDermott and Holiday and guys who are like known to be just in the gym guys, but also just really good shooters, I think they're going to make a real dent in those first few games and maybe in the playoffs, because I think shooting is going to be the thing that just like really, really separates teams. So if the Pacers can hit shots, which, from a spot up shooting and 3-point, like Brogdon's not a 3-point shooter really. TJ Warren is, but he's more of like just a go-to scorer in general. But I think that McDermott's going to make a huge impact. And then as the guy who I think, won't impress a lot, I think Turner will be, sadly. I just think like if he's slow, like if he's out of shape, that will be really rough. Because if he can't run the floor and defend shots, then he's going to be really limited on the court. And right now, his impact in the game is definitely on the defensive end. So if he can't run the floor, we'll be in a rough spot. So that's my little pitch there. But I agree with JJ Redick. By the way, that podcast, like, definitely listen to it. It's really good.
I've kind of dropped off NBA podcasts. I got just Lowe's.
Do that. I don't listen to anything anymore. It's funny during lockdown, during all this, I listened to way less podcasts and way more music. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I'm not driving as much. Most of my podcast is driving, so it was
commuting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was mostly the essentials, and ours wasn't there, so nothing to listen to. So we just said who would do well, who would do bad. What are the Pacers' chances? I mean, the first game, Zach, you mentioned Philadelphia. Really? They lose that game. Not good.
Well, they're locked in. Are they locked into the seed they're in, or are they just locked into the playoffs?
They can advance.
No, so
they're
the
tied
schedule.
With Philly.
Yeah, so the schedule is Saturday, August 1st against Philadelphia. 2 days later against Washington. Next day against Orlando. 2 days later after that, Phoenix. 2 days later after that, LA. 2 days later after that, Miami. 2 days later after that, Houston. 2 days later after that, Miami. So it's right on top of each other.
So many Miami games.
I don't think their first televised game though is like they don't have a televised like a national game until like the fifth game either. It's so stupid.
Yeah, LA TNT, then Houston's NBA TV.
Do we know how that works though for those other games? Like, does Fox Sports Indiana cover?
I'm sure they will.
Last time JJ and Pat had one, it didn't sound like Fox Sports was going to get something, but they hadn't heard officially yet. So I'm hoping, because otherwise,
they can't not broadcast any like a game,
right?
Down there.
But I don't think you're going to get Quinn and Denary for sure, unless they're like remote, and that'll be.
I think they're remote though. You know what? Let me text Quinn.
Okay. I'll text Denary and he'll let me.
I'll ask my dad to text Quinn. That's what I'll do. I won't get a response. Richard will.
He'll be like, I'm not. Who is now?
I say of those 8 games, I mean, I'm pessimist. I think the Pacers are going to go. They're going to go 3-5.
Yeah, I was going to say 4-4 at best. They got
3-5,
2 Miami
4-4 is strong. That's a tough schedule.
Not bad. If they lose to Philly, doesn't that drop them down? And then they're in the Milwaukee stretch, so they're going to get Milwaukee second round. And that's
are they in 5th or 6th right now?
5th right now.
They're in 5th.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
The fact they're in 5th,
they could get home court advantage.
Yeah. I think unless they come back and just shock me, because I have super low expectations. I think they'll be the 7th seed in the playoffs.
Yeah, you do. You think they'll fall?
I think they'll fall.
No, so Philly's passing him. Who else? Who's the other one behind them?
Wait, so who's 6? Philly?
Miami? No, they're ahead of him.
Who's
Here,
6?
I'll go to the
Philly's 6 right now because of I forget the reasons.
6?
They're like tied in the standings, but there's.
Well, think about it. Like the Nets are done because they lost.
No one's coming.
2 players to COVID.
So right now it's Pacers 5th, 6th, Nets, Magic 7, Pistons 8.
Oh no, they're gonna hold steady then.
They'll hold 5th.
They'll hold steady then.
At least.
Well, hold
the
on.
Nets are terrible.
Nets are 6 games back. Magic are 6 games back. Pistons are 7 games back.
Yeah, okay.
So they can't be lower than 5th. They could be 4th.
If they fall apart, the lowest they'll get 6th.
They'd have to lose everything, just about, and Nets have to win everything.
Yeah, or the Pistons go on a hot streak. Yeah.
Pistons. What's it? Oh, it's Doumbaya,
Luke Kennard.
whatever the
Watch
guy's
out.
name is. Yeah.
Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard's the Pacer killer.
And
Wait,
they
no,
traded
no,
him.
no, no, no. The Sixers are the 6th spot, and they are tied.
What? Well, I'm looking at NBA.com right now. It's telling me.
Really? I'm pretty sure the Pacers are.
Oh, my bad, y'all. Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
It was the NBA put me on 2018-19.
Oh my gosh. So
All right.
all those
Yeah, go
people
ahead.
just yelling in their car on the way to their essential jobs were just like, no, Zach, there's no way.
That's right. Yeah. There's, but even with that, it's no different from the 2018-19. They'll still not get past 6.
Yeah. So it's 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means they would play
So it's basically, who do you want to play, the Heat or the Celtics?
Celtics.
I mean, I'd rather put the Celtics, but I want to see the Heat game. But so the Heat is Jimmy Butler and Bam. Celtics is Jason Tatum.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think
Heat. I'll pick the Heat.
I think the Heat still, though. I think you'd rather go up against the Heat. I think the Celtics. I mean, I think the Celtics present too much of like a wing challenge, and like they can just throw wing after wing at TJ
Especially if
Warren.
Victor
Like,
Oladipo's not playing. You got Aaron Holiday has to guard Jaylen Brown and stuff. You're gonna get.
Well, it's like TJ. It's TJ Warren and Justin Holiday against Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Like,
not good.
Jason Tatum has morphed into like an MVP caliber player, and Brown is physical as all get out, and Hayward's looking like the old Hayward. So none of that sounds as appealing.
Well,
to me.
Hayward has a 4th kid on the way, so he's going to leave the bubble by the time.
Yeah, if his wife can please have their child just like, just a
Right
bit
at the
before the due
playoffs.
date, that'd be great.
Hopefully, it's a 4th girl, and that would crack me
It
up.
is a 4th girl, I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
I think he's just.
Sorry.
I mean, he's forever.
I laugh
forever
and I have
cursed.
2 boys, so I'm not.
But Ross, I mean, please, your gender reveal went splendidly well. Right?
It went better than
nothing-
Gordon Hayward's. Gordon
there was-
Hayward was like visibly.
Well,
ticked
Gordon
off.
Hayward was also public on the internet, so
I didn't
there's
put mine
that.
on the internet.
You didn't, and then probably a good idea. You didn't put yours on the internet.
Instagram, but it's private. But still, yeah.
Okay, so
This is
we
essential
actually, now that
podcasting.
we're talking about the league from a wider sense, who do you guys see as the favorites in the bubbles? And also, well, let's first start with that. Who's your favorites to come out of the East and the West, and then to win it?
So for me, for the East, just looking at the teams that are up in there, I'm sticking with the Bucks still.
Yeah.
Raptors, even though for some reason I've not been impressed with the Raptors this year, regardless of their record. Like, I don't know. I just can't see them doing anything without Kawhi on their team in the playoffs.
You want me to tell you who they remind me of?
Who's that?
The PG era Pacers. Just because
The Raptors?
none of them had, because none of them, like Siakam is like kind of eerie of early PG right after that first like Eastern Conference Finals run, and they just don't. They clearly don't have like the go-to star. Like sure, Lowry's made some All-Star teams, but like there's like a very well balanced team with like a decent bench, and they kind of reminded me just of a team that you don't want to pick them in the playoffs because they don't have the guy. But like it's hard to pick against them because they're just like good. And
So at best,
they
it's
do everything
Eastern
well.
Conference Finals loss is what's going to happen for them.
I feel like it.
So in the East, it's Milwaukee, Boston has to be right. I mean, Philly is a mess,
like
especially if Embiid doesn't play. Pacers,
Done.
I want to, but no.
Pacers are done.
I think the
I
Heat
missed
will make it
somebody
to
in
the
the third.
Eastern Conference Finals.
Really?
I think it'll
That's a
be a
tough
Milwaukee, Miami Eastern Conference Final.
It's tough. I mean,
Because you get Jimmy Butler in the playoffs, dude's tough to beat.
And
especially
Bam has become pretty good.
especially when he's
I just
angry
don't
at
think they have
TJ
a
Warren.
bench though. I don't think they have a bench though. Like the thing for the Heat though is like, their scoring really comes from Jimmy Buckets and Hero.
I was gonna say name 5 Heat player. I forgot about Hero. Never mind.
I mean, he's good, but he's a rookie still. Like he's still like, and he's also kind of just like a complete.
He got a tattoo. You see this tattoo?
Yeah,
Stupid.
he's like your classic. Like, oh, okay. If you want a funny video to watch, Google Tyler Hero GQ. He's got a video of him talking about how he spent his first $1 million, and like halfway through the video, after he's like named like all of these ridiculous things that he's bought, he's like, "Oh, and I also consult my financial advisor." It's like, no, you don't. You idiot. He's like, and then I bought my mom $80,000 worth of clothes. It's like,
hey, the Nets could be good. They just signed Jamal Crawford and Michael Beasley. That's a team from 10 years ago. But
well, if they signed Michael Beasley,
oh man, they're just like sending down whoever wants to play.
But I think from like just looking at the league as a whole, I mean, the Lakers just look too. I mean, like they're too good, right?
That's what I think the Lakers are going to make it. It's the funniest
Lakers,
thing
Clippers?
is like, maybe the team I have no, like, it's weird. I have no faith in them, but I can also see them doing something is the Rockets because they have Harden and Westbrook.
Curious to see how the Rockets are. They signed Nwaba and
I like Nwaba. I always thought the Pacers.
Luke Mute. Yeah, I love Nwaba. I wish we
wasn't Nwaba on the Lakers.
Bulls.
He was on
Bulls.
Bulls, and then he was on another team. Yeah, I think he was on the Lakers. He was rumored to be a Pacers signee for a hot second, and then I think they backed out of the deal because they went with someone else instead.
Yeah.
But I think the thing about this bubble is that the team with the most chemistry is going to be the strongest team. The strongest chemistry, and the Lakers have been rumored to have been working out together for the past month and a half, playing 5-on-5, playing every day in this secret court, that court you see on NBA players' Instagrams that's the Lakers court, but in this clearly some private rich guy's gym. Have you guys seen that before?
Yeah,
a lot of players will post their workouts from there in the summer. Evidently, they've been definitely playing there, and everyone just pretty much said, shut up, leave your cell phones in the front, and no one talks about it. And I just think LeBron is there's no way LeBron is going to go to Orlando for 3 months by himself and not win the championship. He's not going to go down there to just mess around. He's going to go down there to make sure he wins.
Exactly.
Quick aside, sorry to take us off topic for half a second, but The Athletic tweeted out, I guess it was a while ago, but Bankers Life Fieldhouse just put it out. Random. It's not about Oladipo or any of this. This is a quick aside. The best arena in the NBA, and they ranked their top 3. I'm not an Athletic reader, so I can't read the entire article, but they ranked their top 3, and they said Madison Square Garden, Staples Center, and Bankers Life Fieldhouse.
I love it.
Their line is Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Indiana. They just did it right.
All right, I'll read it.
Everybody's been saying that for years, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is the best, although they sent me
and they got
survey.
The new renovations going.
They sent me a survey today saying, when would you like to come back and what would you like to see if you came back? And I don't know. I don't know how you guys
Pelicans got the worst arena in the league. I mean, the worst. Oh my gosh.
Arena? Oh, you were at that one, yeah?
Yeah, that was it's junk. They need to do some serious they renovated a little bit, but
once they get the old, Zion money, then they'll be able to do some more.
They need to it literally looks.
How about that photo though?
Which one?
You see the photo of Zion?
Oh, they meant the cover
where he's got the mask on.
No.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he looks like the Terminator.
Which 2K are you buying? Kobe, Dame, or Zion?
Here it is.
That's a quick.
I wonder if I can share my screen real quick for you, Ross, so you can see it.
Well, actually, Nico, my little brother, just told me, that photo. Yeesh. Holy crap!
I will crush you.
So, do they have a chance to force the elimination tourney?
Can you flip their schedule, Zach? I mean,
whose schedule?
The Pelicans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they evidently have the easiest schedule to play in.
Memphis has a pretty tough schedule.
Memphis has a tougher schedule, but I was listening again. Shout out to JJ Redick podcast, but the Pelicans had the easiest schedule for the rest of the season when the league stopped, and the Grizzlies equally had the hardest on the way back. So it actually evened out, and I think it's fine. But I mean, everyone would love to see Zion. Basically,
AJ hasn't missed the playoffs in his entire career, so he's got to. Ooh, look at you, Zach. This is great.
And what everyone's saying is that a Zion Lakers 1-8 matchup in the playoffs. Can you imagine the ratings on that?
They'd be not handing over the torch, but
all right,
hey,
here,
you're up and coming.
Here, Zach. Let's run through their
this
schedule.
Is the
and
Pelicans'
do a
schedule.
win-loss.
And these are all 80% of these are on TV. So we got Utah, LA Clippers, Memphis, Sacramento,
Win.
Washington. Dang, that is easy. San Antonio, Sacramento, and Orlando.
The only one
Those
they could
last-
lose are the first two.
First
maybe.
two, yep.
And
They should win the
Memphis,
last
maybe.
6.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah,
And
that's
I think the only ones they'd lose is LA and maybe Memphis. They got the rest.
interesting.
That'd be
That's
cool.
gonna be
Get
interesting.
that double elimination like Mackie. Yeah.
Speaking
What?
of elimination,
What's the 3-on-3 tournament thing that people played? That I used to play in.
which one?
Never mind. Continue. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Macker. Gus Macker
Gus Macker, yeah.
came to me.
No.
Sorry.
I think one thing that will be really interesting though is just to see again, like there's going to be players, like there will be players that we see who are woefully out of shape and who just are complete trash, and we are going to be shocked by. And like never in sports history has there been such a spotlight on a sport at like an individual time as there will be this NBA bubble. Like sure, NASCAR, IndyCar has restarted in golf, but like this is the thing that everyone's been waiting for. And, you know, the players who come out of this the strongest will be like, you know, the hottest commodities come the offseason. But equally, the players who just like clearly have not worked out and laid an egg will equally share the spotlight in just a really negative one. So I just can't wait. I can't wait for it. I mean, like every night I'm going to be watching. I mean, it's going to be like so interesting. Like, will we hear them just swearing and cussing each other out? You know, like evidently players' families can go to games. Like just imagine, you know, some of the things that, I mean, like it's going to be a Woj and Shams like celebration.
Question for you, Zach, because you probably would know. How can someone, me, who doesn't have cable television, watch some of these games? Should I sign up for League Pass? Should I
Reddit
cheap.
NBA streams?
Yeah, you could do Reddit NBA
Well,
streams.
That's what I normally do for Pacers games, but they get taken down.
Or
halfway through the
just
game.
get a free month of YouTube TV.
Ooh,
Do the
that's actually
trial.
a really good call.
'Cause I only need
Ross.
like 2 months, so I'll do free and then pay and then close it. And okay.
Do free and then just scour the dark net for some streams and figure it out.
So I just saw this tweet. It's an article from fadeawayworld.net. NBA rumors: Lakers can create a big four for next season. Let me share this with you here. You ready for this?
Oh no,
No.
come on.
There you
No,
go.
I don't need anything else. I
Thank
don't.
you.
Okay.
Get off. Get
Calm
off.
down.
Sykes.
Right now, we're seeing a photo of, you know, the 3 big players in LA alongside Mr.
DeMarcus
Oladipo.
isn't even on the team. They cut him.
Here it is.
He's gone.
I'll read it for everybody so they can hear what they're saying here. With the salary cap due to take a hammering, the best decision for Giannis would be to resign with the Bucks and
Giannis.
get max dollars. Whatever. Skip.
Giannis?
Enter Victor Oladipo. Like Cousins, injuries have not been kind to Oladipo. He rightfully sat out the remainder of the NBA season to rest his body for this next year. That is the right move in the long term. With the Pacers paying numerous people, Miles Turner, and with Sabonis now their go-to guy, is it time to move on from Oladipo? If so, the Pacers could do a lot worse than what the Lakers are offering, which they don't even say what they're offering.
Okay. No.
It's Miami. If any
I'm just
team
not
I'm worried
dealing
about,
with
it's
this.
Miami. I'm not even going to LA. Whatever. I'm tired of big markets.
Okay, here, hot take. Will there be a pause, or will they actually get through this entire NBA bubble?
They talked about this on Zach Lowe's pod today. The NBA
I just can't see it. I'm sorry.
cases have
This is no way.
skyrocketed in Florida and all these other states, and the NBA has said nothing. They have not even said what would cause them to pause. They are going to finish the season. They're going to have some kind of champion, no matter if it's shortened.
See, the thing
Whatever.
though is that, like, if a player on a team
I know
gets
where you're going.
infected, the chances of it spreading to the
If
more members of
LeBron
the
gets
team-
infected,
And that's another thing too. Is like if a major player gets it, like let alone like I'm sorry, but like the way the business world works on this, which is wrong, but the way the business world works on this, like Torian Prince, Spencer Dinwiddie, they get corona, no one cares. But if LeBron, Harden, Chris Paul, Giannis, if those guys get COVID, they have to take a moment, because the thing is, if those players get it, that makes overseas headlines, right? Like But if LeBron or Giannis or anyone else gets it, that's the thing that's like the headline for the league. So I just don't know. Not to get talking about COVID, but like, it's like, this isn't slowing down anytime soon. And everything points to Florida being an absolute, cesspool for it. So we're putting players there for 3 months. I mean, something's going to happen.
I can see them continuing because I can see their excuse being, well, they're already in a bubble. So just make them sit out for 2 weeks, let him recover, and then, say it's the beginning of the season, he's back for the playoffs,
I think they're hoping everyone gets sick right away so it doesn't mess the playoffs up. So just like, go get it, and we'll shorten your 8 games and not worry about that.
Well, with these meals that they're serving, they might get some other sickness. I mean, like, some of the photos that are coming out of like, this
I've
is
only
going to be
seen
the
one.
new thing.
Is there another one?
Yeah, there's like a ton of photos now, but like the NBA should be more scared of every single day players tweeting out the meals they're getting than they should be about COVID-19. Because right now that might bring down the league, because it is the biggest topic right now is like these photos of the meals that the players are getting.
Hey, Alex, you'll have to respond to Sam. He messaged us on YouTube.
Oh, what did he say?
He said, so Sam says, if one player gets corona, I don't think it's over. They'll just have to super isolate. So kind of like what I said.
They're doing it. Even if unless they have the symptoms and are like, can't breathe and need to be on a ventilator. If it's just like the kind where you don't know you have it, but you have it, they'll be like, a week, you're fine.
Yeah. I just think like there's nothing we can compare this bubble to that makes us think either way that it's going to work. Like there's no sports league or group that we know of right now that has been through the same thing that
Premier League.
We're telling. Well, but I mean, like, for this long, like, we're telling these guys for 3 months that you're going to stay in this bubble, and like, we're going to take every precaution necessary. But like, there's going to be a day when multiple cases in one team are going to be announced. Like, it's going to happen, and like, do we just start seeing like G League players being flown in, and like, is there like a G League hotel where like G League players wait? Like for the call, and it's like the red phone, and it's like the COVID phone. It's like, oh, and Malcolm Brogdon and TJ Warren and Miles Turner all have COVID, and we need you to come in. It's like, oh, great. Like, I mean, like, so, like there's gonna be that day. Like, the thing is, with this situation, like, there's an inevitability with it that, like, the PGA Tour sees it. Every sports league that has like Jimmy Johnson and NASCAR, like, there's no league or sport that is not susceptible to what's going on.
I'm just laughing at Sam's comments on here. That's what I was laughing at. So
I'm glad that, hey, Sam, thanks for joining in. I know that he's obviously a big fan of the podcast. I've heard Sam Shepard's a huge fan, even though we've been dormant for 2 years. But I always appreciate the support, Sam.
I saw before we got on, there was an unnamed Orlando Magic player that got COVID. They weren't announcing who it was. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't see that, but that is one thought of mine. And like, if LeBron gets it, I wonder if the NBA is like told all the reporters, like, don't you dare publish that LeBron has it, because if he gets it, that'll shut down everything. Hey, it wasn't 2 years. Our last podcast was August 2019, so it's not.
Probably since like all three of us been on though.
That's true. It has been 2 years from that.
I don't know. LeBron might want them to say it because then he could have his Jordan flu game.
I played anyway.
A much worse
version. LeBron carried the Lakers with the COVID virus.
Got everyone else sick, but hey, they won.
He powered through.
He'll have a 20 for 20 series.
But I think let's take a step back. I mean, this upcoming, 20 game stretch, whatever it is, will be. I mean, obviously must watch TV, and we'll all be tuning in with just eagerness to see what will happen. But from a Pacers perspective, because this is a Pacers podcast, what do you guys see as the next step? I mentioned in our group text that I think the Pacers have to hit on this year's draft. And then I realized, oh, wait, we traded our first round pick for no reason, which also is a fact. We traded it for no reason. Herb Simon gave it to the Bucks out of like I don't know, being a nice guy.
Owner
Remember that
to
article?
owner generosity. Yes.
Yeah, just like, oh hey, thanks for letting
Sign
us
and trade.
sign and trade. There's no reason that those should exist, but for some reason the Pacers still are about that. But I mean, what do you guys see as the path forward? I mean, I think regardless of if Victor is part of the long-term plans, I think the Pacers need that wing score regardless. And I think we've been lacking that for a couple of years now. But what do you guys see as kind of the next piece to this kind of core that Pritchard has built?
So you're saying that you don't think TJ Warren's the answer?
I think he is, but I think TJ Warren is like a good streaky scorer, right? Like he's always going to give you like 14 points a game. The variable with him is like, does he get you up that level to compete with like the Bostons, Milwaukee's of the world? Some nights, yes. Some nights, no. I think they need that. They just need like that two guard, like that a little bit beefier. I think guard that's a better defender because TJ Warren's not a great defender, but someone who can defend and score the ball. Like they just need like a solid guard.
Yeah, just. It's hard to say. There's not a ton of guys out there, that could do what you're wanting.
Yeah,
and we don't have any draft picks, so
yeah. Well, let's just end it there.
Yeah, I mean,
no, but I think options for the Pacers. It's get lucky in the draft, sure, but I think it's more like I put this in a group text too that if Victor truly is gone, then that Turner contract becomes the thing that you tack on to whatever you do from a trade perspective. But the reality is that they will have a lot of cap space if Victor goes too, though. So like next year we have Victor, right? But the year after that, like, we're already planning on signing him to what will probably like a 29 a year, 30 million a year deal. So there's a lot of cap space in there to go after someone big. But like knowing again, like to Zach's, evergreen point of, the Pacers will forever be challenged with trying to land a big time free agent. Like that's just, being a Pacers fan. It's like wanting someone to come here who never will. Sad.
So
gosh, I can't believe I'm saying that.
for people that are available that are not on a player option, so
this
unrestricted
Zach
free
Lovelace special right here
on
the dime data.
See. So let's go. We're gonna go shooting guard, right? Or you want small forward? What are you thinking?
I shooting guard, but like a guy who could play small forward alongside like a TJ Warren or a kind of a lanky 3
This is with Oladipo still there.
Okay.
All right. So here's your list. So you got Gallinari. Next guy, no. Evan Turner. Next guy, no. Solomon Hill. We don't want them. So
oh my God, this is like a trip down like horrible memory lane.
Yeah. A guy who, I don't know, a guy you could take a shot on because he was drafted for potential on defense, Josh Jackson. I doubt you'd want that. Stanley Johnson, he's been.
I'd take a flyer on him for nothing, but nothing other
Wilson
than that.
Chandler could be an option. After that, I mean, really, Jay Crowder. I mean, the small forward crop is not that great shooting guard wise. I mean, Andre Robertson, but he can't shoot worth a dime.
It's rough.
There's
banking
not
on
much
Aaron
out
Holiday
there.
being good. Aaron Holiday, show up, please.
David Nwaba's a free agent.
I like him. Why didn't we sign him?
He's only on his current contract's only $900,000.
I thought he just signed with. I thought he signed with the Rockets, but he's hurt and it's for next year. Is what I thought I had read. So anyway, I hopefully not, and we get him. But anyway, speculation. No,
I think if they did anything, it has to go through a trade.
Yeah, it's not going to happen this off. This season is more maybe
this
win a playoff
is
series.
Wait, who's expiring? Is it just Justin Holiday and who else? Who's expiring for the Pacers? I'm trying to think both the roster in my head right now.
Ooh.
Justin Holiday and McConnell was multi-year.
Let's see. Holiday, Jakar Sampson, and Elise Johnson.
So basically, like no money is available.
Yeah, that's only that only clears up about $8 million, if that. And they're still paying. They're still paying $2.2 million for the next 3 years. For Monte Ellis.
Gosh, Remember
they're
on the
paying Monte
podcast,
through 2021-22 season.
Yeah.
remember on this
stretched it.
podcast when we were trying to like in our heads to justify like how Monte could like still fit. The good old days. The good old days. Like, no, he'll figure out how to shoot. No,
Hey,
he'll be fine.
he'll be fine.
We have not mentioned Edmund Sumner at all. Do you think anything?
No, I mean he's
still a project. I mean, he's 24,
still a
but
project.
But he's going to get minutes now if Victor doesn't play. Him and Holiday, Aaron.
So are we suspecting then the lineup is, or the rotation is Brogdon, Holiday, Warren, Sabonis, Turner?
That's the starting lineup. That's what I would guess.
yeah.
And then off the bench, then it's McConnell,
Justin,
Sumner,
other
Holiday.
if they go big, Bataze,
Go
depending on how
back.
bad, depending on how bad Turner's
and
playing.
McConnell.
McConnell, yeah. I don't know. It's I don't know. The thing though with this bubble is that like again, it is a crapshoot. Like no one knows what any other team is going to bring to the table, and it's just going to be a bit of a free for all. Like that first game is going to, like, those first few minutes of that game are going to be horrible. It's going to look and feel like the first game of like the NCAA tournament, where it's like both teams are just incredibly nervous and no one knows what's going on. Like it's going to be bad. They have had like 10 days of actual practice time. Like it's not going to be great. I don't know. I mean, it's exciting, but like, holy crap. This is an experiment.
Yeah, they definitely got to do something next year, because next year's salary cap, even with 3 guys gone, their salary goes up by $10 million because they start paying Sabonis his new contract.
And the cap may start either
Go
flat
down.
or come down because no money coming in.
Yeah, because Sabonis
China.
moves up from $3.5 million a year to $17.1 million.
Yes, bonus goes huge.
So,
I see
yeah,
that.
even though we lose
Sabonis
people-
has to step up. I mean, if Sabonis has to be the guy this next few weeks. Like Brogdon has been out with COVID, it hasn't been working out. You know, Turner
That's why
is a question mark.
That's why I was
Sabonis
torn
has to be the man.
when we were talking about earlier who's going to be our best player. I was torn because I can see Brogdon carrying this, but Sabonis is also the type of guy who, like, he actually plays with like a fire and intensity every game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
TJ Leaf is under contract for another whole season. Sorry.
Do we pick up the option on his contract or no?
He has a qualifying offer for 2021-22, which I don't think they picked up.
Oh, we did.
no, they didn't
Okay.
pick it up
Oh, we didn't.
Did
no.
not. Thank
because they're
goodness.
like he sucks.
Goodness.
You know, we have 2 people watching now. I'm sure one of them is TJ Leaf. And
I'm
he's sitting
sorry,
there.
TJ Leaf. No, I'm not.
TJ,
I
listen.
don't know.
TJ, listen. All right. You know, you've made
Shave
some
the
good NBA
mustache.
salary. You've been able to survive in a league with a terrible facial hair getup. You know,
You're making $2 million a year.
You're a very fortunate human being. Take your losses and head to Germany. And over there, we'll give you shout outs from like an indie Pacers _ fan page on Instagram. I'm sure that's a profile that exists. And that's pretty much it. Like,
Was,
it's been a fun ride.
Was TJ Leaf the OG Anunoby draft?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
2 picks later or whatever it was. Yes.
Yep.
Because OG was coming off the knee injury, and you don't just draft an Indiana guy because the Reggie Alford thing, and that
God forbid,
Miss.
we pick
Alex,
this.
there's your shooting guard you're wanting that plays D.
Stop
and
it.
Can
Stop it.
Exactly.
Could've had him.
No. You're
Could've had
true.
him.
You're right. And because if we had OG, we'd have never traded for TJ, or maybe we would have. I don't know. But it would give us more money to do other things. But exactly, like that pick at the end of the day, though, was actually more detrimental than, you know. I remember defending it at the time. I literally remember being in like my apartment when I was an intern at the company I work for, and trying to defend that pick the night of the draft. And looking back, I clearly was just lying more than I've ever lied in my entire life, and I'm so sorry for lying.
I could not
but-
defend that one. I defended
Gosh.
the Scola one that became Karis LeVert. I'm like, yeah, for sure. Scola better than Karis LeVert. We
That
can
was
actually win
Thaddeus. No, that
playoffs.
was Thaddeus.
Oh, it was cool. Was it Thaddeus?
I think-
Well,
I
still
think it was
better.
traded-
Yeah.
Both of
It
those
was
better
Thaddeus.
at the time. Anyway, okay, we ended depressing. Shouldn't end depressing. Should end positive.
No. This is good. Wait. Let's end it like this. biggest thing you've picked up during the lockdown / just the fact that we're all responsible human beings wearing masks, social distancing? What's been the thing that you've been into that's been a bit different during this time? I'll start with you, Zach.
Well, I'm not doing it so much now since I'm back at work, but we were doing hikes a lot. I know that for sure. The thing I've learned
Built a fence in his backyard.
Oh,
by
yeah,
the fence.
himself.
I mean, come on,
I built a fence,
alert.
man. It's huge. A lot of work. No, I've done a ton of stupid crap around the house. It's ridiculous how much I've done. One thing I did learn through coronavirus, though, I'd never heard of it till some of these basketball games started coming back with the TBT tournament, was you ever heard of the Elam ending?
Oh, I love
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love it. I watched it for the first
Great.
time today. I was like, holy crap.
What uses the Elam ending? The big three?
The TBT tournament going on right now.
But there was something else that just used it fairly. The
Canada.
All-Star game. No, the NBA All-Star game used it.
Yeah, NBA
Remember?
All-Star used it, and then the Canadian League said they were adopting it for their
It's so great.
for
It's so
theirs.
great. It's
It's way
fantastic.
better because I watched it today, and it's like the last 4 minutes. It's not junk fouls anymore. Like you guys are
So
like, crap, we
intense.
got to score. You know,
Yeah, it's really good.
I would love it if they adopted that.
Yeah.
Because you know what was
It's a
a
good
few
one.
years ago who were they hacking? Drummond? Like every game was Drummond they were hacking or something.
Howard. yeah,
Reminder, he's on the
long
Cavs.
list.
I bet you forgot that.
God, yeah.
I
That's
did.
like the most like random NBA player on a random team you can think of is Drummond on the Cavs.
There's
I
I
like
still
one
think of
thought.
him. Yeah, I still think of him as a Piston. Like
Oh yeah,
We
completely.
could be Cavs fans. Oof. Bulls fans. Oh,
Stop it. All right.
Pistons fans because
Ross?
Jake Masters to get on here.
Oh yeah,
he
Jake
doesn't
Masters.
even listen anymore.
What's up, man?
He only listens if Zach does something.
He commented like an hour ago. Hold up,
He
am
went
I
to bed.
living? He said, "Am I living in 2016 right now?"
Is that when we started? Probably.
I think it was- I don't remember.
The years don't matter. I think it was 2016.
Really?
Crazy.
Dang.
Everett was born January 27. Yeah, probably ended 2016 November. Yep.
Wow.
Well, we know
right.
what Ross has been doing during coronavirus.
Painting my house.
No,
What if-
you've had your hands full, man.
Oh.
Not
Oh
everybody on the
yeah,
podcast
number
knows.
2, Ross.
Yeah.
Numero
Oh, yeah.
dos.
I mentioned it earlier. Second baby son was born March this year. So
Thaddeus.
Named it DeMontis Sabonis.
did
It's
not
crazy.
name it Thaddeus or Monte. Yeah, I know that was named him DeMontis. No,
His
actually
wife
named
again.
him Bojan. I did not do any of those things. No.
He named him Brooks after Aaron Brooks, our best backup point guard we've had.
That's
Yeah.
not at all. It's
Love
after a
those years.
baseball player, actually, but yeah, whatever. No, it's my wife picked it. What have I been doing? Lots of stuff around the house, painted the house. My project this weekend is installing a dishwasher. Fun times. Welcome to married life with 2 kids. The only random thing I picked up over coronavirus, it's very nerdy, is I discovered a video game on the computer called Civilization.
Oh, it's a great game.
Civ 6.
You just discovered it?
I've
It's
heard
been
of
around
it,
for a while.
and I
Oh,
know
it's so
I've-
good. Civ 6
I know
is
what it is.
amazing.
I play Age of Empires and I played another game, and it's kind of like those two combined.
Yeah, Civ
It's
6 is amazing.
Stupid. It was free on Epic Games thing, so like I'll download it. And now I
Yeah.
play till like 1 a.m, which is really bad for me. I'm a addicted video game player, so I need to stop.
Civ 6. It's a beast.
Yeah.
What about you, Alex?
So I've had like a few phases. So in the first phase, when I was still in Chicago, I got really into racing games, and so
Racing
went on
games. I know
Amazon.
you're into racing games.
Yeah.
So what do you play?
so I got into. I mean, again, this is gonna. I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk for a few minutes here. So
right, I'll
right
go
away, I got an I had an Xbox 360. Like again, ancient system. But I went to Amazon and found the latest F1 game I could find, which was F1 2014. Paid an egregious amount of money just to get it because there was not that many copies out there. Played that for like a good 3-4 weeks, right? Came back to Indy. And one of our mutual friends, Evan, had a like a racing, like a Gran Turismo, like race
Simulator?
wheel and setup. And there's something called iRacing. And iRacing is like what the IndyCar and F1 guys used during lockdown for like their races on TV, like their simulator. Like it's actually like really high quality racing sims. And so I was doing that with my brother's VR set. And that was actually like really, really, really fun. So I was just like doing that for few months, like that was my thing. Then I had a phase where the weather got nice, really into helping my dad with some yard work. Then I had like a piano phase for like 2 weeks. And now where am I at? Now I'm in like the please for everything that's good in the world, find a vaccine phase. And that's about where I'm at.
It's funny because I did the same. I actually looked online for a good 3 weeks because they were sold out everywhere. I was going to buy a racing simulator for my
it's
PlayStation.
so fun. Oh my gosh.
Because I was playing
like,
racing games for like crazy.
iRacing is like a hoot. Like if anyone out there has their old like, PS2 or PS3 like wheel and brakes, go buy iRacing. If you're on Steam, it's in their summer sale, and it is about as fun as it will get. Like it is very, very, very cool.
Oh yeah.
I bought NBA 2K20 on the Steam sale as well. I'm a terrible shooting guard on the Indiana Pacers, and it's like
Pacers?
I worked out for them. It was stupid though because I'm a shooting guard. Now I'm behind Oladipo and Lamb in the depth chart. But if you get to a certain point, you get to choose 3 teams to work out for, and I chose them, the Warriors, and the Knicks. I should have just chose the Knicks first instead. I chose the Pacers first, and they drafted me. And it was like a typical Pacers pick, right? Like it was like, let's draft a guy who already have like 3 qualified players in his position for. And so they pulled one of those moves, and now I'm just sitting at the bottom.
I'm definitely
of the bench,
getting 2K this year. I need
3 minutes a game.
Something. I'm always a big man, and last time I played, I was the Suns. Which
2K20 is $9 right now on the Steam sale.
Good. I'm waiting for the PS5.
Yeah, get Horizon Forbidden West, and what are the
I don't
big
know.
ones?
I sold my PlayStation because I knew it was coming. So
I know we were supposed to play Battlefront, and you.
Well, I got my brother's right now.
I played my brother's. He's got like one of the really nice VR headsets, and he got the Half-Life Alyx game. Scared. I mean, it's supposed to like the best like VR game they've ever made. Like it is amazing. Like you feel like you're in the game. Absolutely, almost crapped my pants like 4 or 5 times. Had to like. I played it for like 2 minutes and then would stop. And then like 3 days later, I'd say, okay, I'll try it again. And then like 3 minutes and stop. I just like couldn't do it.
Well, this has been
that's been my
conclusion.
I'm glad that everyone is following us here for this.
Yeah, we should probably cut this. We're probably at an hour right now, and they're like, oh, okay, now I've already stopped listening.
Now, everyone wants to hear it. Also, let's just say that everyone else's format, they've copied us. This is completely.
Well, I don't really know that for sure because I've stopped listening to them because now there's like 6 of them. I did a shout out to the Pacer Brews. I listened to them for a while. The guys from Australia, they were fun. But I had too many podcasts, so I stopped. I'm the only Pacer one I still listen to is Sideline Guys. And did you guys listen to the Slick Leonard interviews they did for like 14 weeks?
No.
They're fantastic. Good. Slick went through his whole career and
cool
with Mark Boyle. It's very interesting. Sorry.
I'll just say, we had the Sideline Guys on this pod once, so like
they have their autographs.
Been there, done that kind of thing. But
Mark Monteith, we had some big names back in the day, man.
We had some big names. They used to quote us in their own podcasts.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're not salty.
We were still the only ones that did video stuff.
Dang right, Zach. All right, we should probably end this before people really start to
get off my lawn.
Well, this was a fun one, guys. Let's do this again soon. Well, we will, right? Like, yeah, let's do this again soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think now that we've done this and we all have mics again, maybe as we get closer to the start of the season, like a week before, I'm sure news will come out. We can do that. It ends in July 31st, thanks to the start of the season, kind of the bubble. Let me get the music queued up.
Or we'll see Oladipo walking around in a Heat jersey next week.
Don't you dare.
Zach, you're just putting bad thoughts in all of our heads.
I know. I just like to make Ross mad.
Always.
He's going to be playing Civilization ticked off all night now.
Too late. I got to go to bed. Okay. Close it out so I can play the sound because right now I'm on my computer Mac and it's auto mic and it sounds terrible.
You're not going to close it out, Ross?
We'll close it. Okay, fine.
I don't remember how we used to close it out, man.
Thank you for listening.
I love that Sam Sheffer like tuned in to our stream, just like, low key. Big YouTuber. Cool.
I mean, he contributed.
He contributed.
Gotta appreciate that right there. All right, y'all. Well, that ends it for this week's episode of the Corner 3 Show.
We'll talk to you guys again soon.
Later.
Music.
We'll have to work on that one.
You're good. Oh, well.
Oh, it didn't drop. I was dancing for nothing.
Sorry, I somehow did some. Oh well.
Oh my
well, you know what it sounds like.
I feel like I'm on the phone with the boom.